Humans can endure significant pain and hardship, but what happens when they are exposed to freezing temperatures well below the normal human threshold? Can the body withstand temperatures below 0 degrees Fahrenheit? Remarkably, some individuals, despite facing near death from extreme cold, have managed to return to life against all odds. Here are 6 extraordinary stories of people who, after succumbing to the harsh embrace of cold, miraculously came back to life. On a freezing December night in 1980, 19-year-old Jean Hilliard's car skidded off a side road in Legby, Minnesota. The temperature was a bone-chilling minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit as Jean, dressed in a coat, mittens, and cowboy boots, decided to walk to a nearby friend's house after her car became hopelessly stuck. She trudged through the snow, but hypothermia overtook her just 15 feet from her friend Wally Nelson's door. The next morning, Nelson found Jean frozen solid. I grabbed her by the collar and skidded her into the porch. I thought she was dead, frozen stiffer than a board. But I saw a few bubbles coming out of her nose, Nelson recounted years later. Miraculously, Jean was still alive, though barely. Her pulse was a faint 12 beats per minute. She was rushed to the Foston Hospital, where the medical staff wrapped her in an electric warming blanket, and her body temperature gradually increased to 88 degrees Fahrenheit, which was still 10 degrees Fahrenheit below normal. Against all odds, Jean's body slowly began to thaw, and over the next several hours, she regained consciousness, defying medical expectations. Jean's incredible survival story captivated the nation, earning her the nickname Miracle Girl. She was interviewed on The Today Show and featured in countless newspapers. Yet despite the brief burst of fame, her life returned to normal. She fully recovered without any permanent damage. In 2016, 25-year-old Justin Smith of Pennsylvania had a near-fatal encounter with sub-zero temperatures after a night out with friends. The group had been drinking and became separated, leaving Justin to walk home alone in the cold. By morning, he was found unconscious on the roadside, covered in snow and blue from the cold. He had been exposed to the harsh elements for over 12 hours. When his father discovered him, Justin had no pulse or blood pressure, and all hope seemed lost. Justin was rushed to Lehigh Valley Hospital, where Dr. Gerald Coleman was on duty. Despite the dire circumstances, Dr. Coleman refused to give up, guided by the belief that you have to be warm to be dead. He quickly connected Justin to an extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, or ECMO machine, which pumps and oxygenates the blood, effectively taking over the functions of the heart and lungs, allowing Justin's core temperature to rise slowly. Over the next several weeks, Justin defied the odds and made a remarkable recovery. Although he did lose his toes and 2 fingers to frostbite, Dr. James Wu, a cardiothoracic surgeon, explained that the extreme cold may have preserved Justin's brain and other organs, allowing him to survive such a prolonged period of hypothermia. In February 2001, 13-year-old Erica Nordby narrowly escaped death after wandering outside into the freezing Canadian night. Erica had been sleeping beside her mother and sister at a family friend's home in Edmonton, Alberta, when she woke up and through a back door with a broken latch ventured out into the bitter cold, dressed only in a diaper and t-shirt. She braved the frigid night where temperatures had plunged to minus 24 degrees Celsius. That's minus 11 degrees Fahrenheit. Her mother, Layla, awoke at 3 a.m. to find Erica missing and frantically searched the house before discovering her daughter lying face down in a snowbank, frozen stiff. Erica had been exposed to the sub-zero temperatures for up to 4 hours. Paramedics arrived quickly, but struggled to insert an IV due to Erica's frozen veins. Instead, they administered fluids directly into her bone marrow. She was rushed to Stollery's Children's Health Center, where she was considered clinically dead. Having been without a pulse for nearly 2 hours, and her core body temperature had dropped to a dangerous 16 degrees Celsius, that's 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Doctors immediately placed Erica under a warming blanket, known as the bear hugger, to revive her. Remarkably, her heart began to beat again. Dr. Alan DeCane, who led the emergency room team, explained that the extreme cold may have induced a state of suspended animation, preserving Erica's vital organs. Despite the initial fear that she might lose parts of her hands or feet to frostbite, Erica made a full recovery, requiring only minor skin grafts and physiotherapy to regain her ability to walk. In May 1999, 29-year-old Swedish radiologist Anna Bagenholm nearly lost her life during a skiing trip in Norway's Kollen Mountains. While skiing with friends, Bagenholm lost control and slid headfirst into a frozen stream, becoming trapped under thick ice. Despite her best efforts, her friends couldn't pull her out, leaving her submerged in icy water for 40 minutes. Bagenholm remained conscious, breathing through a small air pocket beneath the ice. Eventually, hypothermia set in, and she lost consciousness. By the time rescue teams arrived, Bagenholm had been trapped for 80 minutes and was clinically dead. Her core body temperature had dropped to an unprecedented 13.7 degrees Celsius, that's 56.7 degrees Fahrenheit. And there were no signs of life on the electrocardiogram. Her heart had stopped beating. Despite her lifeless state, the rescue team immediately began CPR, hoping against all odds that she could be revived. She was airlifted to the University Hospital of North Norway, where Dr. Mads Gilbert, the head of the emergency medical department, made a critical decision. He couldn't declare her dead until she was warm and dead. Although Bagenholm's condition appeared hopeless, Gilbert believed that the extreme cold might have slowed her body's metabolic processes enough to protect her brain from irreversible damage. The medical team connected Bagenholm to a heart-lung machine, which gradually warmed her blood as it circulated back to her body. Amazingly, nearly 24 hours after her fall, Bagenholm's heart miraculously restarted on its own. Though it took over a year for her to fully regain her strength and overcome the nerve damage, Bagenholm eventually returned to her work as a radiologist, having made a full recovery. In October 2006, 35-year-old Mitsutaka Uchikoshi from Japan became what might be the first recorded case of human hibernation. Uchikoshi's ordeal began after she slipped down a steep mountain slope while walking home alone following a work outing. He broke his pelvis after falling into a stream, and doctors believe he lost consciousness the next day. He remained missing for 24 days until hikers discovered his nearly lifeless body. During this period, Uchikoshi endured temperatures as low as 50 degrees Fahrenheit, causing his body temperature to drop to a dangerously low 72 degrees Fahrenheit, well below the hypothermia threshold of 95 degrees Fahrenheit. When found, he was suffering from multiple organ failure and had only a faint pulse. Shinichi Sato, MD, head of the emergency unit at Kobe City General Hospital, explained that Uchikoshi's body had entered a state akin to hibernation. His metabolic processes slowed dramatically, likely protecting his brain from irreversible damage. Despite the severe conditions, Uchikoshi's brain remained intact, enabling him to make a full recovery, which astonished the medical community. Uchikoshi's survival is particularly remarkable because it suggests that human hibernation, previously considered exclusive to certain animals, might be possible. His case has sparked renewed interest in the potential medical applications of inducing a hibernation-like state in humans, such as slowing cell death during critical treatments. While the exact mechanisms of his survival remain unclear, Uchikoshi's experience offers a fascinating insight into the potential for human hibernation and its implications for future medical advancements. In December 2011, while Stella Berntson's parents, Peter and Annika, were busy preparing for Christmas, they allowed their 7-year-old daughter to play outside. They could never have imagined the nightmare that would follow. As Stella played near the sea cliffs, she slipped and fell into the freezing waters below, disappearing without a trace. Peter and Annika, along with their neighbors, panicked over Stella's whereabouts and frantically searched for her. Their hearts sank when they discovered her small footsteps leading to the cliff's edge, where the sea had claimed her. The Coast Guard and helicopters joined the search, and soon they spotted a pink jacket floating in the icy waves. It was Stella. Peter recalled a moment with deep sorrow, telling the news agency MSN, "It was the death announcement we waited for. We knew, of course, she must have been in the water a long time." Rescuers pulled Stella from the water, assuming it was too late. Her body temperature had plummeted to 55.4 degrees Fahrenheit by the time she arrived at the hospital, and doctors had little hope for her survival. Yet against all odds, as doctors slowly warmed her body over 12 agonizing hours, Stella began to show signs of life. She opened and closed her eyes, a miracle in itself. 2 weeks later, she spoke her first words since the accident. After 2 months of intense rehabilitation, Stella made a full recovery, leaving everyone astonished by her resilience and the incredible power of the human body to survive. Thank you for watching. If you were amazed by these incredible stories of survival, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. We have more fascinating content coming your way.